Ancient Egyptian religion. Throughout much of ancient history, Egyptian religion was polytheistic, meaning it recognized many gods and goddesses as well as a variety of other divine beings. Not all of them were equal in significance. Egyptian mythology is home to over 2,000 different deities of varying power and importance. Ammonius, the Egyptian god of creation and king of the gods. But by far, one of the most important figures to ancient Egyptian civilization was the god Ammonius. Ammonius was originally a local fertility god from the city of Thebes from around 2300 BCE. Most myths detail that he was one of the 8 original primordial gods of Egypt, controlling the cosmos and overseeing the creation of humanity. He is even mentioned in the old Egyptian pyramid texts. He was also said to be the husband of Amunet or Mut, the mother goddess of Thebes. The people of Thebes even held a massive festival in honor of the marriage between Ammonius and Mut, known as the Feast of Opet. During the festival, worshippers would convey statues depicting Ammonius, Mut and their child, Khan, on floating temples called User-Hedaman from the temple of Karnak to the Luxor temple. There the statues would remain for 24 days, with the city still in celebration. Afterwards, the statues would be journeyed back the way they came to the temple of Karnak. Despite his local status, a cult quickly followed him and his popularity began to spread across Egypt. In the following centuries, Ammonius would rise to become the god of the skies or the king of the gods, as well as one of the most powerful deities. Ammonius was worshipped among the ancient Egyptians for his role as the god of the sun, and the Egyptians considered him the king of the gods. He was also thought to be the father and protector of the pharaohs. Akhenaten was an ancient Egyptian pharaoh of the 18th dynasty. His reign was 17 years and he died around 1334 or 1336 BC. Akhenaten decided to reform the Egyptian religion. For thousands of years the Egyptians had worshipped a variety of gods such as Ammonius, Isis, Osiris, Horus, and Thoth. Akhenaten, however, believed in a single god named Aten. Akhenaten built a number of temples to his new god. He also had many of the old temples closed and removed some of the old gods from inscriptions. Many of the Egyptian people and priests were not happy with him for this. Now approximately 94.9% of the population of Egypt is Muslim. Pharaohs. Amenhotep I, Amenhotep II, Amenhotep III, Amenhotep IV, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, Ramesses II, Amenhotep I. Period. New Kingdom/18th Dynasty. Reign 1526 Egypt's military defenses and stopped foreign military campaigns. His religious beliefs differed from traditional ancient Egyptian religious beliefs. He and his family moved from Thebes to Amarna, a city he built in dedication of the sun god he worshipped. While in Amarna, the conditions in Egypt declined. He neglected foreign policy and allowed territories to be taken. Being in Amarna and not the capital city pushed him farther away and isolated him from his people's problems. Even though Amarna was a prosperous and beautiful city, many ancients living there did not accept the monotheistic religion that Akhenaten promoted. They were reluctant to accept one god as opposed to the hundreds that they were used to worshipping. Their old gods were tangible and viable, whereas Aten, which is essentially light, was too ethereal a concept for them to grasp. The ancient Egyptians also began wondering about the stability of their afterlife, since the old gods were not being worshipped. After the royal family moved from Thebes to Amarna and declared all other gods besides Aten non-existent, many ancient Egyptians saw their livelihood diminish and went out of business. In ancient Egypt, religion was a popular means to making a living, and many who did were out of luck. These people were scarab makers, wood carvers, and others. King Tutankhamun, or simply King Tut, ruled Egypt as pharaoh for 10 years until his death at age 19, around 1324 BC. Though his rule was notable for reversing the religious reforms of his father Akhenaten, Tutankhamun's legacy was largely negated by his successors. The subject of how Tutankhamun died, at a young age of just 18 or 19 years old, has been discussed by specialists since 1922. While some believe that Tutankhamun suffered from genetic diseases, others have speculated that he died more brutally, in a chariot accident or perhaps even the victim of assassination. What we do know is that Tutankhamun died at a young age and possibly unexpectedly, as his tomb was not yet complete. When the young king died, his body was mummified, embalmed, and encased within 8 shrines and coffins in the burial chamber. The king was accompanied on his journey to the afterlife with thousands of treasures. While some are made of gold, precious alabaster, and gems, others offered more practical support to help him reach the afterlife and join his ancestors. Clothing and pillows to help him rest, weapons to repel evil spirits that would hinder his path, and food to sustain him on the journey. Ramses II. Period. New Kingdom/19th Dynasty. Lifespan: 1303 BC, 1213 BC. 90 years old. Reign: